Welcome back. One final point before we go tonight. What the mainstream media was afraid to tell you about the news this week. This week, while the mainstream media obsessed about whether the White House was using a body double for Melania Trump, this is what really happened. Attorney General Jeff Sessions made the murder of a teenager in Iowa a hate crime. That's right. The same man liberals claim is racist and homophobic and transphobic, he sent a Department of Justice attorney to the state of Iowa to assist in the prosecution of the murder of a transgender teenager. Did you hear about this from the mainstream media? Yeah, that's what I thought. The mainstream media refused to cover this story because it destroys their narrative that Sessions is horrible. He's not. Conservative commentator Dana Lash revealed on Twitter that she and her family were forced to move out of their family home and relocate because gun control maniacs were threatening to kill her and rape her to death because she works for the NRA and supports our right to bear arms. The mainstream media didn't care. And that's exactly why we so desperately need warriors like Dana fighting to protect our right to bear arms, because we need to protect ourselves. More than half of Americans support President Trump's move to roll back the Obamacare contraceptive mandate, and 62% of Americans support the 20-week abortion ban that passed in the House of Representatives and is currently languishing in the Senate because our senators have no gumption. Just in case anybody is fuzzy on the math, that's a majority of Americans who want to ban abortion after 5 months, and a majority of Americans who don't want to pay for your birth control. But you won't hear that from the mainstream media. The Women's March is hosting a Women's March conference here in a few days, and they very excitedly announced on Twitter that their headline speaker is Bernie Sanders. I kid you not. The keynote speaker at the Women's March conference is a rich old white man. Funny how the mainstream media didn't seem to notice the irony. Last but not least, a senior editor at the New York Times admits on hidden camera that Times journalists write stories on purpose to portray President Trump as insanely crazy so maybe people will rethink their vote for him in the future. The executive editor of the Times, higher than the senior editor, says he thinks using journalism as a guise to destroy somebody's career is despicable. Yet, all his paper does is try to destroy Trump's career. The mainstream media doesn't care to report any of that to you, so we will. And that's my final point tonight. You can reach me on Twitter at Liz_Wheeler. If you liked the show, please send me an email at oann.com/contact. In the meantime, catch us here tomorrow at 9 p.m. Eastern, and until then, have a good night.